Shalom, and welcome to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast.
Brought this subject of the question, the doubt, to,
Yes,
when we have doubts, and how it is like the the motor for the search for seeking the answer, right?
mm-hmm.
And he was just trying to talk about the aspect of the question. And these days you also brought the aspect of teshuvah as answering, as an, so it makes sense because just the returning is just to, in a way, is the conversation, like Plato and Socrates, right?
Yeah,
The knowledge was really about conversation, as the rabbis, as the sages. It's always about conversation, asking and answering and returning.
yes.
Really good, Eti. Really, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It came to me this week that there is a blessing which there is happens usually at Motzei Shabbat. Motzei Shabbat is just, many things are coming at the same time, so it's difficult. I mean, let's speak about everything. Yes, it has to do also with Shabbat and songs, and there is a blessing in Saturday night, because on Saturday night, what happens in a way, the Shabbat, the sense of um, unity is fading out. This is Saturday night. So they call it Motzei Shabbat, to go out from the Shabbat. And there is a blessing which concludes the term Me'oreh Esh, the illuminating of, or the illumination of fire. So, how shall we start? There is a term called Me'oreh Esh, the illuminations of fire. And there is a term called Me'oreh Or, the illuminations of light. So on Saturday night, when the Shabbat, so to speak, is fading out, because usually on Sunday here people return, so there's a sense of fading out. Yes, Motzei Shabbat. So they bless, so people bless on Me'oreh Esh, the illumination of fire. So we have the term Me'oreh Esh, illumination of fire, and there is the term Me'oreh Or, illumination of light. And what do these terms mean, and why Me'oreh Esh is related to Saturday night, when there's a fading out of the sense of unicity, and then moving again to the days of the week, already at Saturday night. Esh, fire. We use fire to create, to make forms. We put bricks in the fire. Yes, we shape bricks. We put them in the fire and we make bricks, and from the bricks we build houses. So the fire separates. Again, fire, ish, separates. There's a saying that when Adam Rishon was expelled from the Garden of Eden as a comfort, he received a fire that will comfort him outside of the garden. Because the fire is warming, yes. It can bake cakes, you can put bricks, yes, and you can make bricks, and so the fire makes forms. And by making forms, there's a sense of separation. So there is a distinction between Meore Esh and Meore Esh, illuminations of fire. This is what man does during the 6 days of the week. This is of the becoming. If we want to build a house and we need bricks, so we takes the material, put them in shapes, put them in the oven, in the furnace, and then there's bricks. So Meore Esh is what the man does. Is a process in space and time. But Meore Or, the illumination of light, it's not of a process. It is the mode of being. So the Shabbat, called is the Teshuvah, because the Teshuvah is also an answer and returning and repent. So the Shabbat from Lashuv, to return, from to sit, Shabbat Meore Or, the illumination of being. This is how life is. But on Motzei Shabbat, when the evening comes, and then the sense of this, like in the Cinderella story, the magic, so to speak, is fading out. There is a distinction, Havdalah, yes, and there's a blessing that we bless about Meore Esh, and usually people start fire. The fire that is in charge of the becoming, in the process that exists in space and time. Meore Esh. אבל מאורה אור, but yes, איש אש, yes, איש אש, man is, yes, of course. Therefore, there is the beautiful midrash that we learn in Sefer HaBahir. Why there's a beautiful midrash in Sefer HaBahir that says, what is Ish Milchama, a man of war, and he comes, Sefer HaBahir, with completely different things about Ish Milchama, a man of war. When he says that Ish, he takes it not as a man, but he looks at the letters one after the other. It's very interesting reading. So there is Meore Esh, the illumination of fire. This is in the world of becoming, in the 6 days of the week, in time and space. And there's Meore Or. This is not so much a process. This is how it is being. In the Shabbat, there's no need to do anything. This is how it is. Sun is rising. The sun is not rising and setting, but from our perspective, the trees are growing. There is no need to deliver anything, to go for projects. This is how it is. This is Meore Or. The illumination of being, basically, is Meore Or. I move between the English and the Hebrew all the time. And this is quite interesting, because when we look at this, at Genesis and the creation, we read that the sun and the moon, or the greater illuminator and the lesser illuminator, were created in the fourth day. So the sun, which is the source of fire, was created according to the story in the fourth day. But before they were Meore Esh, the sun, there was Meore O, the light of being without the bodies of light. Yes, because the sun also it's a body. And you ask about the Shuvah and returning and the answer. And I asked a simple question: how many songs are in general about Saturday or Shabbat, regardless of the Hebrew? And the answer was that there are many, many songs about Saturdays and Shabbat. And I asked how many songs there are on Sunday. Not so many. Not so many. So if we look at Saturday not just as a Saturn related or sitting, but an answer. And so many songs are written about Saturday. It also, the song speaks their own singing. Usually the society, yes, Felipe.
It just say that today I was speaking with Alexandre, and I asked him for lyrics. He often has many writings, and he sent me these words about, and it was properly about Saturday. Uh, it was some words related with a former song we released that drop everything you're doing, and it was about Saturday and Shabbat. So interesting that you mention it right now.
Yes, this is the answer to drop because there
Yes.
is a yes, there is illusion of fire of Meore Esh. There is a illusion of the process in space and time. Yes, and therefore there is Havdalah at Saturday night distinction between Meore Esh. There is a separation between the Shabbat, which is light of being, and suddenly there's a leaking to from all. Yes, there is a leaking from all light to Esh fire, and there's a distinction. And as we learned from Sefer HaBahir, every time we hear the word Havdalah, distinction and separation, it's not real. So there is illusion. Yes, there is illusion of the process in space and time. But basically, this is everything is happening in the light of being, Meore Or. Therefore, also another connection to Sefer HaBahir, the angels, the angels of being, yes, are in the second day, while the messengers are in the fifth day. The fifth day appears after the fourth day, the greater illuminator and the lesser illuminator. And the messengers are basically, like you say, they are people. Yes? Ish, Esh. Yes? While angels of being is Meoreo. So there is a distinction already in Sefer Bahir. It's very beautiful because the book is very subtle, speaks in a very subtle way about things that we don't really consider as interesting or for daily usage. Yes, because what counts is the daily happening and the activity of the day. So there is a beautiful discussion in Sefer HaBahir that everybody is agreeing that angels appears, yes, in the second day, according to the verse of Psalms. Ose mal'achav uruchot, makes his angel spirit. Meshartav, his servants, esh lohet. And from this verse they learn that Ose meshartav uruchot makes his angels, sorry, Ose mal'achav uruchot, makes his angels. Let's open it because it's very important. Very important because the Sefer HaBahir, it is very, very subtle reading. Let's read the verse. Let's open. You're browsing, I hope. So, yeah. It's before Biberachia. Here. This is Mark 21. אמר רבי יוחנן, said רבי יוחנן, בשני נבראו המלאכים. In the second, probably day, the angels were created, that it is written in Psalms 104:3, המקרא במים עליותיו, that forms in the water is ascending, and it is written, the next verse 4, עושה מלאכיו רוחות, makes his angel spirits, משרתיו, his servants, אש לוהט, burning fire. Yes, and says Rabbi Levitas ben Tavros, and says Rabbi Levitas son of Tabros, Hakol modim, everyone admits, umode Rabbi Yochanan, and admits Rabbi Yochanan that the water already was in the second day, but we can see from here, but in the second day, hamekare b'mayim aliyotav, yes, and so osem al achav ruchot, his angels of spirit in the second day. This is the light of being. But meshartav esh lohet, his servants is burning fire, it's in the fifth day. So again, spirit in the second day with angels and fire, fifth day after we have the sun and the moon, and there's also messengers. So there is very deep distinctions between angels and messengers. Though in the Bible, when we read the Bible in Hebrew, Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim, yes, it is written Malachim, 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 and sometimes it is translated to angels, sometimes to messengers, but there is a deep distinction. Meore or, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. The fire comes only after the sun, because once there's a body of sun, yes, yes, there is a relation, very good. This is before the sun, there is no sense of time. There's a beautiful reading. What happens before, or what happened before the sun and the moon were created? Because was there already light and darkness before the sun and the moon? And the question and the answer is yes. So yes, very, very, very good distinction. Yes. So again, messengers in the fifth day, after we have the sun in the fourth day, there's a body of fire. Yes. Messengers. Shlichim. Shlichim in Hebrew, shluchim, messengers. Those are humans that are being sent to deliver messages, even if they don't know they are messengers or we are messengers because we appear all over the place, and we say words that others are hearing, and we are anonymous to them, but there's all the time the messengering is going on. While the second day there's only being. So there is a distinction between angels, yes, and messengers. And this is very beautiful and subtle distinction. Also, the call to Abraham, Lech Lecha, is to walk from the formation of fire. The process in time, Ur Kasdim is a great city. Everything is happening there. There's a process, there's a lot of mathematics, engineering. Go out from the process, from the fire. And there's a beautiful lore that says that Abraham was thrown into the fire, but he survived it. Yes? It is a beautiful lore, but this is an image to people who live all the time under the illusion that we are the makers, we are the builders of cities, and so on. So people are being consumed by the thought that we are the creators, the builders, and so. He was thrown into this, how do you say, hub, but something inside he did not cooperate with this. This is why he survived, because it's not of the fire. Questions, Felipe?
Just thinking about this, the fire that it needs. How can I say, a log to burn, and if we do not give this wood, this body to be burned, it doesn't, the fire cannot survive.
That's true. It means that there are two. The fire needs to eat something. Yes, it means that there are two. This is the difference between Meore O and Meore Esh. The fire is a consuming fire, so it needs to eat something to enable the burning. But the light of being does not need anything, it's just being there. There is a great illusion. There is a great illusion that we are the makers, that we are the thinkers, that we are the doers, that if we would think better, deeper, faster, things would be different. But no. The distance between the planet Earth and the moon and the sun, nobody will change. The seasons of the year, nobody, it just, this is how it is. But still, we live under this illusion that we are the center. Good afternoon, Abigail. We're so happy to see you. There's a sense of illusion that we are capable of doing things, and so. Yes, Felipe?
Just thinking about this, so beautiful, the letters for fire, uh, Aleph and Shin, because the Aleph is the unity,
Yes.
and the Shin is a letter that it for itself is represented as fire. So it's very, very interesting. It has certainly many meditations can be made on it. And it is just something I remember hearing yesterday, uh, um, about the Hanukkah. That is, the lightings of the Hanukkah candles. Uh, they are 36 lightnings to complete all the days and all the candles. I don't know if you heard about it, but just remember that uh, there must be 36 tzaddikim, let's say, that sustain the world, and those candles, they are light, but they have this fire on it. It I mean, only just related to Hanukkah, because it needs f- let's fuel to burn these candles, this fire for 8 days, right? And it's just sorry, kind of misguiding this conversation, but just
No,
remember
no,
this.
everything. There is no misguiding because there is no center. The beautiful thing is that we tend to think that there is a center to everything, but there isn't. This is why they say conversation, versia, with the movement, with the way how it goes. Yes, there is no
Yes,
center. There is no law, and there is no nothing like that. Yes.
and it's just caught the attention because the theme of fire uh, needing fuel just brought me to Hanukkah in this very moment, because there is this celebration about the oil that was sufficient for 8 days, and eight is eternity, is the Olam Haba, and so on. And it's so beautiful. And also this 36 tzaddikim, it was beautiful to hear about this. You light one candle, then the after day one plus one, and so on. And in the end, we get 36 lightnings. I mean, if I don't know if it is accurate information, but I just heard it there yesterday and think about how beautiful it is.
Thank you, Felipe. Chag Hanukkah also is being called Chag Urim. Yes, the holidays of light, of lights. Yes, and yes, it is just beautiful. Yes, the oil shemen is already showing us or indicates it's the eighth day. Shemen with Hey, which is a feminine, is Shmuna, this is the eight. So the the eight is included already in the letters of oil, and oil is hovering above the face of the water. Yes, if you take a glass of water and you put oil on it, the oil will hover upon the face of the water. Yeah, like the soul. Soul is hovering also above the face of the water. Yes, but we tend to believe that once there is appearance in space and time, and there's a body and there is a name, this is me. Yes, but the soul or the infinite consciousness is not private. This is something that we learn during the time to associate a name and a body and a story to a finite appearance. But it is ain't so. This is only infinite. Yes, like the oil is hovering above the face of the water, so is the soul. There is no separated soul. Yes. Yes,
Letty,
Felipe.
a question now. You mentioned it. I'll try to formulate this soul neshama, right? Could we
Mm-hmm. Yes, soul neshama. Yes.
and it has a body to be burned. I mean, in this context, uh, Israel, um, how could I say, neshama is related with light or more with fire. I mean, it is on the process of manifestation, or it is something more related with light and unity.
The neshama is like yeah, a light and unity. Yes. But since there is a body, the human body is like the body of a candle, and the candle has a wick, WICK in it. So we tend to believe that our separate bodies and names are like separate candles, but it's not. And we believe that we are the body that was formed in space and time, that we are Meorei Esh. This is what we tend to believe. That each one of us looks a bit different because we are separated, long last, yes, entities. Each one has a name, a story, an address, and so. And this is the illusion that we are Meorei Esh. We are illuminated, illuminations of fire. That since there is a form, yes, there is a separate entity. But the neshama is light, yeah, and everything which is connect. This is how it is. To the eyes, it seems to us that we are separated. Yes, Felipe. The neshama, the soul, is like meoreo. Yes.
This is beautiful. Just it makes us think that when the light is incarnated, let's say, it becomes a fire, a consuming fire, because there is a body to. I mean, the light needs a body to. Let's say, no,
The
if the
light
light.
does. Yeah, yeah. Say what you want to say. Yes.
No, the light itself doesn't need anything, but when it
Great.
is incarnated, it manifests itself through fire, through
Yes.
consuming fire.
Yes.
And also, it's interesting because ruach is a wind. It is oxygen. It is what um, makes possible the fire to manifest also.
Excellent. 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 Without the spirit, without the wind, yes, the fire could not appear or have a body, could not burn. Excellent. This is why it says Psalms, "Oseh mal'achav ruchot," make his angels spirits or wind, and Meshartav and his servants burning fire. This is already in the manifestation. Excellent, Felipe. Excellent. Excellent. Therefore, one verse from that is being read by Sefer HaBahir worth 100 years of teaching or learning. Questions? Good evening, Yanis. Good afternoon, Abigail. We're so happy to see you. Any question, Abigail, Yanis, Felipe, feel free. The belief, the false belief or the false illusion that we are bodies, or we have some kind of reflection in the mirror, is what create a sense of narrowness and the exile. And once there is a sense of narrowness and there's identification with the body, with the story, we are trying to seek for refuge from this narrow form, from this narrow appearance or finite appearance, because everything is temporal. The body is here temporal. So we seek salvation, or we seek a way out from this narrow appearance in space and time. But the realization is important. And what is the realization? That we are not of space and time. There is appearance of different bodies now, 8 billion bodies. But we are not of bodies. We are not of space. We are not. We are not. We are not. Whatever happens, we are not. It's like oil will never be mixed with water. Never. So there is no need to worry about whatever. The worries or the questioning, like, or the doubts that Felipe was speaking about his friend before, the question of the friend and the doubt, they are coming when we are caught in the illusion that we are finite, yes, and we are trapped in this body, or me is this body, or me is this story that I'm telling myself, because the creation is anonymous. When you walk in the cities and you see people are crossing the streets on the zebra crossing, you just see people crossing. We don't know their names and the stories. So for us, there are people moving in the streets, walking, sitting, eating, drinking. We don't know their names. We don't know their story. We just see this as appearance, as a momentary happening. And everything is fine. But the moment yes, this is only, everything is just being. Whatever happens in the moment, in the motion or emotioning, it just happens. So being animated from the source. But once the brain goes into action, it says, no, my name is John, and I see there's someone sitting, and I see someone riding his bicycle. Then starts the separation, and then start the sense of exile and the story. And I'm living in this house, in this address, and so on. I have to make it, yes, I would like to do this and that, and putting aims in front of our eyes and going for them and getting far and far, because we are drinking this illusion, yes, of separation. This is only to the appearance in space and time. Once there is a thinking going on, we tend to believe that we are the thinkers. We are capable of thinking. There's just thinking going on, and it's not that someone has advantage of another person of thinking, because it's like electricity moving through us. So there's like info or something, or all kinds of signals that are moving. It's not private to anyone. This is how it is. And nothing is against me or pro me. This is what is happening. And it's innocent. Like the verse says, Hatsur Tamim Po'alot. Tsur is also the name, one of the names of God. There are many, many names. One of them is Tsur. Usually it is translated as a rock, but Tsur is a synonym for God, for divinity. Hatsur Tamim Po'alo. Meaning is innocent in its activity. Yes? וכל דרכיו משפט, and all his ways are, in a way, sentence of being spoken. Mishpat is not just justice, it's also how we speak, how that not we do not decide how do we speak. Because the speaking is happening before the appearance of bodies. Again, the language or the speaking is not the body ability. The soul speaks through different bodies or different appearances, but the soul speaks through us. Like we are different harps or we are different flutes. And the speaking is happening before the brain even catch it. But the brain immediately claims that he is the owner of speaking. Again, the fact that we can communicate to each other in any kind of language or any kind of way is not because of our talents or our attributes, because this is how the soul is communicating through us, or infinite consciousness depends on how we're going to call it or calling it. Nobody has an independent ability to speak. It just goes through us. Yes, Felipe.
It as yesterday also in the parashot sessions we remember the a midrash. A friend brought a midrash that uh, Yosef spoke many languages, and he ascended with Pharaoh 70 degrees, meaning 70 languages, and Joseph knew not only 70 languages, but one more, which is the secret or divine language. And just to mention it, because it was brought yesterday and I never heard about it, and just know this little piece of story. But I remember it as you were speaking about the languages.
Yes, yes. Angel came and taught him 70 languages during one night that he would be able to communicate to Pharaoh. That's correct. It's a beautiful lore. Thank you, Felipe. Any questions? Because I would like to read you one verse here. Let's return to Mark 30, or even before. Yes, Mark 29. This is about the letters, returning to the letters. My Vav, what is Vav? Amar lahem. He told him, Hey tachtona vehei elyona. He told him. First there's a question, what is Vav? And he told him, upper hey, and lower hey. So let's pay attention that the answer is round. Upper hey, he speaks about the two letters hey that appears in the tetragrammaton, because the tetragrammaton is written Yod He, Vav He. So there is a question. What is Vav? And he says, he tells them, or he told them, He Tachtona Vehe Elyona, meaning the last He and the second He, because the Vav dwells between the two He's. אמרו לו, they told him, מהי Vav? What is Vav? אמר להם, he told him, בשישה קצוות נחתם העולם. In 6 edges, the universe or the world is being sealed. So what here is the answer? Vav, the value of Vav, or Vav is the sixth letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And here the answer says, Beshisha k'tzavot nichtam ha'olam. In 6 edges, the world is sealed or concealed. And what are the edges? We have 4 directions of the wind, north, south, east, and west, and up and down. Those are 6. So the question is, what is Vav? And the answer is those dimensions, the 6 dimensions of a cube, 4 directions of the wind, north, east, south, west, and up and down. Amru, they told him, Vahalo Vav Achat, but Vav is 1. Amar lahem, he told him, Vahalo Katuv, and isn't that it written? Psalms 104:2, Ote or kasalma, wear a light as a dress, or wearing a light as a dress. This is about the letter Vav. Mark 31. This is where we stopped last time. Amar Rabbi Amorai, said Rabbi Amorai, Gan Eden hechanhu. Where is the Garden of Eden? Amar, he told him, Ba'aretz, on earth. Mark 32. Darash Rabbi Ishmael Rabbi Akiva, taught Rabbi Ishmael to Rabbi Akiva. What is it which is written, Genesis 1:1, the heaven and the earth, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz? Ilmale lo ne'emar et, without the word et, or the, hayinu omrim, we would say shamayim va'aretz, heaven and earth, Elohuten. Without the word the before each one of the 2 words heaven and earth, we would have thought that the heavens is divinity itself and the earth has its own divinities, that those are 2 gods. So it is important to say the heaven and the earth. In this way, it's indicating that the heavens themselves and the earth themselves are not gods. They are not their own, generating their own powers. Amarlo, he told him, Ha'avodah nagata, the work, the issue, the topic you have touched. Avalo berarta, but you did not refine it completely. Ken dibarta, so you spoke. So you're close to the truth, but it's not refined yet. You're close. Aval et, now he continues. Aval et, the word the in English or in Hebrew et, Aleph Tav 1-400. Aval et, every time we find et in the Bible, in Hebrew, Aleph Tav, it includes everything. Because Aleph is 1 or unity, and 400 Tav is the manifestation. 400. So the movement is from the source to the manifestation. So every time we see the word et in the Bible is referring to a movement between the source and the manifestation and includes everything. So therefore he says now, Aval et, here, Lerabot concludes or includes Chama ulevana, sun and the moon, Kochavim umazalot, stars and zodiac, the signs, yes? Ve'et, and another et, ve'et, which is proceed to haaretz, includes lerabot ilanot, trees, utshaim, grass, vegan Eden, and the Garden of Eden. Mark 33. Amrulo, they told him, Haketiv, meaning there is like one verse from the book of Lamentation, Echa Bet Aleph, meaning Lamentation 2:1. Hishlich mishamayim eretz tiferet Israel. He threw from the heaven earth, the beauty of Israel. ואם כן, נפלו. And if this is so, what is written in Lamentation is truth, it means that the heavens were falling. Again, let's see how they read the verse from Lamentation. There is a verse in Lamentation 2:1, which is saying, Hishlich mishamayim eretz, he threw from the heaven earth, or the earth, Tiferet Israel, the beauty of Israel. Ve'im ken, he says, and if this is so, he threw from the heaven earth. If this is so, the heavens were falling? And who was falling? The heavens, the earth, the beauty of Israel? It's not clear. Amar lahem, he told them, Im karu lo shanu. If they read, they did not recite. Shanu from shnayim, from two, to recite. So if they read, Im karu, if they read, they did not recite. Ve'im shanu, and if they recite, lo shilshu, they did not triple, read it, or the triangulated reading, to read it 3 times. Again, Amar lahem, Im karu lo shanu. If they read once, they did not recite twice. Ve'im shanu, and if they recite twice, lo shilshu, they did not triangulate the reading, meaning reading it 3 times. Mashal, lema davar dome. This is parallel to what? To a king. למלך שהייתה לו עטרה נאה על ראשו. This is parallel to a king who had a beautiful tiara or a ring above his head. מעילת נאה בכתפיו, beautiful garment upon his shoulder. ובא לו שמועה רעה, and suddenly a bad rumor came into him. השליכה עטרה מעל ראשו והמילת מלפניו. So what did he do when the bad rumor came to him? He threw the tiara or the ring like angels above his head, and he threw the garment in front of him. This is just a parable to explain us what is the meaning of the verse from the book of Lamentation. Hishlich mishamayim eretz, he threw from the heaven earth the beauty of Israel. Because how do we read this verse? But if we want to read it as it is written, or as it is being heard to the sages, we have to read it through a parable. And what the parable says. This is parallel to a king who had a beautiful tiara above his head. A ring like angels, tiara, in Hebrew, atara. Feminine, yes? A ring above his head. And a beautiful garment upon his shoulders. Everything is so beautiful. There's a king. The king has a tiara, a beautiful garment on his shoulders to show how beautiful it is, because the power looks when the shoulders are, everything is just being laid there like from the mountain. Is very beautiful, impressive. But what happened? One moment a bad rumor came into him, and what did he do? He threw the tiara above his head and threw the garment in front of him. This is a parable that's supposed to give us an image what is the meaning of the verse from Lamentation. Hishlich mishamayim eretz, from the heaven he threw the earth the beauty of Israel. Because this is the book of lamentation, and lamentation is like a sobbing book. People are mourning the loss of civilization, the loss of Jerusalem. So instead of reading this very complex verse, he gives us a picture that a king that has everything, his tiara, his beautiful garment, he's a king, but a bad rumor, when people are listening to a bad rumor, it's not truth. First of all, it's a rumor and a bad rumor. And what is bad in Hebrew? Ra. What is Ra? Bad, evil is duality. Yes? This is how binary, because good is one. Yes? And bad is duality. Yes? How do we learn this? The word Ra in Hebrew is written with Resh Ayin. Resh is 200. Ayin is 70. So the movement is from the two, doesn't matter 200 or what, but the movement is from the two, from duality to the 70s, to the 70. So once there is a receiving of a bad rumor, yes, and it's being accepted as truth, everything is being thrown. So the tiara of the king is being thrown and his beautiful garment in front of him. Yes, there are no dressing of beauty and so on. This is what happens when bad rumor is coming, not just to the king, also to us. If a bad rumor, if we give our ears to listen to a bad rumor, everything is being destroyed. The whole universe, the completion is being taken over. Yes, by a bad rumor. Everything is doesn't make any sense. Everything is, yes, being shit. Why to live for and so on. But it's a bad rumor. Yes, and everything just you throw all this great universe on a bad word, on duality or a doubt, or somebody says a rumor or a gossip, and everything is being destroyed. Speaking from what happened here in the last 2 years, not that Israel were bombed from 7 frontiers days and night, also all over the world there was campaign against Israel. And it was going on in all media against Israel, and it doesn't matter where you open, everything was like poison with against Israel and against Hebrew and against Israel and again. And we also were defending from bombs, ballistic bombs, all kinds of missiles, drones, whatever, for 2 years, days and night, days and night, days and night. And after 2 years of being threatened, and people were killed and people were injured and houses were destroyed and so on. And yes, that's great. That's great, Felipe. Yes, and not just this to survive from day to day, just to keep your head in place under those conditions. Also, whenever you open anything, everything is against Israel and the pushback against Israel all the time. So it makes you believe that the world is gone. This is from experience, what happened to us. Yes, and after 2 years, and now a season since at Simchat Torah in October, they made an agreement. The American president was here, and they started like wrapping it so slowly. Only now we are evidencing, and with the new winter also, when there's ease from the sun and there's like rain, and the nature is like, we're noticing that the world is still existing. People speak about post-trauma. I don't know what post-trauma is, but in 2 years of constant war, constant bombing, constant moving from one shelter to another, trying to survive just to go to the supermarket and come in one piece, And whenever you open the media, because you have to be in connection with what is happening, because there's all the time alert, this area is being bombed, and you have to go to shelters here. Whenever you open, everything is against Israel. Everything, and you question. Yes, this is a bad rumor, but it happened. And suddenly here, there's a new season in Hanukkah. This is the holiday of miracles, and this is a miracle because the world is standing. There's a sun in the morning, and the night comes the moon and the stars and the sea and the fishes. And but once there's a bad rumor, and this is what just rings the bells 24/7 for 2 years, you question everything. And suddenly comes like there's a space of few weeks from let's say wrapping it more or less, and everything, it's just miracle, it's just wow, and there's life again, and there's this is the book of lamentation. This is just you sob and you cry about a falling which is does not exist. Not that we were sobbing or anything, just but to give us example what does it mean to take in a bad rumor. So whenever something, we read something like a bit of a news or whatever, some kind of a feed, and we take it is the ultimate truth. There is the senses are telling you it's finite, and so they're bombing and from all directions, but someone maybe who sits I don't know where in Alaska does not experience this because not constant bombing, so it tells you it's only a bad rumor. But when you're in the space which is being bombed, this is but the senses, this is why we say the senses are limited, because the senses they observe what is it in the first let's say sphere which is happening. Someone who lives in Alaska does not feel or experience all of this, and he can tell you, or even in other country, hey, chill, the world is still existing and everything. But if you run into the shelter 20, 30 times per day, try to tell someone, yes. But this is a very good example, very good example. Thank you so much for being with us this time, because I appreciate this a lot, of friendship. Any questions or sharing, Felipe, Abigail, Yanis, about anything? Please feel free. Therefore, the Mishkan, we are coming to the senses. The Mishkan is this temporary building that they built in the desert, was built in a way to show us, yes, not to take as ultimate truth what the senses are sensing us, because the senses, as they work, the senses, they are private to the body. Yes, there is a system which installed, yes, and it communicates to the body. It's not absolute. If someone now feels hot in the desert, it's a 50 degrees Celsius, he will tell you it's hot because there's a body in the desert and it's hot. But it's not absolute. So the senses are sending information to the body, and the body is being perceived, yes, as a separate entity, and we think it's absolute. Therefore, there is, and all the way of the Mishkan is built not to take, yes, what the senses are telling us or distribute to us as ultimate truth. There's a beautiful text by Philon of Alexandria that says that when Abraham left Haran, and came to the land of Canaan, he explained it not just as a moving from certain territory to another territory, but a movement of consciousness. So Philon says, what is Haran? Haran comes from like holes. And the holes in the faces, they're the dislocation of the senses. Yes, there's the spaces of the eyes, they give us a sense of seeing. There's like on the side, those ears, they give us a sense of hearing. And there are nostrils and so, and there's a mouth that give us a sense of a taste, and the fingers, they give us a sense of touching and so. And Philon says that when the Bible says that Abraham left Haran, he left a stage of consciousness that says that the senses are the masters. Yes, because if the, let's say someone smell or sense something, the scent of rose, this particular nose in this garden senses the sense of rose, but someone in the desert does not feel it. So the senses are not the absolute. So when Abraham left Haran, he left a stage of recognizing the senses as ultimate truth. Again, when Abraham left Haran, he left a stage, yes, in the development of consciousness that used to take the senses or what comes as a broadcasting from the senses as an absolute truth. Because if we take what the senses are telling us as absolute truth, it's only a transformation. This is only, how do you say, a broadcast of what is happening, the senses that are sensing one body. It's not the absolute truth. And if we're listening only to the senses, this is in a way a saying that we are in the center of the world, and what the senses are telling us or sensing is the absolute. Yes, and there's a world and me. This is the duality. So Abraham left, again, Haran, not as a place or as space of territory, but left this stage of consciousness, which is saying that the senses are sending us the absolute truth about reality. So he left this space and moved on. The senses are not the absolute. If you notice in one room, if there is a congregation of few people, each one sense different reality, or each one can smell even different scents or smells, or hearing different sounds. It's not an absolute. Yes, Felipe. Yes, Felipe, did you want to say something? For example, Abraham's father, yes, Abigail? So in our case, does it happen that we leave and enter reality as and when? It's way to consider that the information that the senses are sending us are not the absolute. Yes, just giving us an example from the last 2 years here. The senses were just, it's every day just like bombing and bombing. It's true that there was a bombing here. There is statistics of how many people were injured, how many bombs and so on, how the levels of fire and violence here are being measured, and there's like research about it. It is. It just, and if the body wants to save, and every animal would like to stay living, even a cat and a bird. So there's a sense of protecting, yes. So therefore, there's a senses are to protect the life form of a body, but it's not the absolute. Because someone in the desert, the senses of someone in the desert will broadcast a different information to the body than the senses of someone that lives in Alaska. Therefore, there's the Mishkan, and the way the Mishkan is being built is, and there's a special animal which is mentioned in building the Mishkan, techashim, orot, the skins or the leathers, or the skins of and they're discussing what is this animal that they're using to build the Mishkan Techashim. It's not about the animal, but the word Tachash is divided into two. Tachash, come and sense, is to tell us that the senses are not the absolute. Therefore, the leather or the skin of the Techashim are being used to build the Mishkan, and they are built in a way in the external part to push the senses away, yes, or the manifestation, because the senses they are being active in the manifestation. So those skins are being put, yes, as a foil around the Mishkan and pushing the senses back. There's to isolate us again from the sense of the manifestation, and just to recognize the being. Because what happens is when we are giving too much weight to the senses, immediately the attention go to where the sense is coming. If there's a smell coming from far of something, so all the focus and attention go there for the smell, or for the eyes, what the eyes are seeing is an object. And all the senses are being built outside of the body. Yes? But the Mishkan in a way is being built to isolate the input that comes from the senses, and to, in a way, to return, yes, Felipe Teshuva Lashuv, yes, to the being. Our true nature is not of the senses. Again, our true nature, the infinite nature of the soul, is not of the senses. The senses are only coming into the picture because there's the illusion in space and time here. And the sense is supposed to preserve the body in space and time. But this is not our true nature. Our true nature is what? The soul, or the shemen, or the oil. That whatever happens in the stormy waters, we are not of the stormy waters. We are not in the storm of war. We are not in the storm of famine, in earthquake, or whatever. So whenever a senses comes to you, okay, this is the truth. I saw this, it must be truth, and I smell it, or I heard it, and suddenly the attention goes to all directions. No, no, don't give us too much attention to those. Yes, it's supposed to preserve the life of a body if there's a great sense of fire or a smoke coming, or yes, yes, but not to be all the time they're out and about like animal, because animals, they go only on the senses, yes, and only they're out in nature. Yes. Yes, Abigail. Yes, yes, it does. The world of senses is the world of illusions. Yes, the world of the senses is the world of illusions. Therefore, when you go in, just this morning, when you pass through the cities and they want to attract people to the shops, so they put a very good perfume or very good aromatic smells that people will come in, and they exhibit it in lights. And so please pay attention how everything is built and being structured and engineered, that it's working on the senses. Yes, and the senses also animals have. So they use the skin or the leathers of techashim. Techashim tachash. Tachash is not like they call it. There is a beautiful discussion. Which animal is it? But it's not about this. It's about the idea that tachash we can divide into two. Ta, in Aramaic, it means ba. Chash is sense. Come and sense. Yes? We are not of the senses. Yes? We are not of the senses. Yes, there is a capability of, yes, sensing, smell, seeing, but we are not of it because the system of senses is part of the manifestation. Questions, Felipe, Abigail, Yanis? Thank you so much for joining us today, for a beautiful discussion, for a beautiful conversation. We wish you all the best and hope to see you here on Saturday. להתראות. Shabbat Shalom. תודה וחג שמח. You're just wonderful friends. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you for listening to Bible Stories as Blueprints of the Soul, your Biblical Hebrew podcast. For more information, articles, videos, and interactive classes, please visit hebrew.learnoutlive.com or join our YouTube channel. Shalom v'chol tov.